Greetings, 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 and happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, each and every one. Yes, it's Wednesday, the 23rd of February, 2022. I don't know when you will be listening to this, but I just wanted to let you know when this recording and this conversation was done. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, grand rising, because it is approximately it's 5:59 a.m. in the eastern part of the United States. Now it is 6 a.m. So grand rising to each and every one of you. And for those of you who are in other regions of the world, grand rising and welcome and welcome. Welcome to this conversation. I am your host, Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am a spiritual healer. I am your why and soul purpose coach, consultant, and facilitator. Because as I evolve in this spiritual work more and more, I find myself doing so much more with and for my clients in order to help them to birth what it is. So little did I know that when I laid down teaching and training and said yes to fully delve into the spiritual work, little did I know that I was going to be once again called to facilitate. And when I gave up nursing to embark into this personal development arena, which I am in for over 30 years, little did I know that I would be called again to be a midwife, to help with the delivering process of your dreams, vision, and purpose. And as I share this in the introduction this morning, it is coming through to you because we are speaking on the conversation of guided by your mind or our inner light. So now, because I'm being guided and directed through my inner light, I am no longer stuck with the titles and all of the labels. Because wherever the light shines, there, that will be highlighted. Wherever the light directed, whether it goes around the corner, that's where I go. Because no longer can I or will I be obedient to remain in the darkness. And as the light shines, not only will it evolve me, it will also be exposing others. And for you as well, as you decide to be guided by the light, you are going to find out that the glare from your light will be too bright, and then you will find yourself cutting folks loose. So again, thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for that introduction. Welcome, welcome. I see one person here. Welcome. Kindly share the live. I started inviting on Facebook this morning, and I think I typed too much in, so they banned me and took away my option to share. Hey, my sister friend Jennifer, kindly go ahead and share for me, Queen, because I couldn't invite anybody. I was inviting too many. So please subscribe to my YouTube, my LinkedIn. Sign up for my newsletter at my website. Follow me on Instagram, Diva Coach Daphne. I have to check out my Pinterest and see what that is. And then prayerfully, as the light keeps shining, I hope it will shine on the folks at TikTok so they will release my account. Tomorrow is supposed to be the day. So I haven't been checking it. I don't know. I've just been focusing on all the other things that the light's been shining on. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I really miss my morning, folks. Tonight I will also be back on here at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, as I was researching the topic of being guided by the inner light, because as you know, every time I add value, I am not only going to be sharing my experience, but I depend deeply on the universe, on the spirit, to show me what my community will benefit from. And when I am guided to research, I include that, I share it, I give credit to whomever the author or authors are. And as the spirit interject, I share that as well. Just like what happened in the beginning of me sharing my introduction. All right? So, I am going to be sharing this story here because it resonates so deeply with the topic I am speaking on or sharing with you the conversation. And this story that I am sharing is the story of Amy Die Gore, Amydye Gori. Amy Die Gore. This is the story that I am sharing verbatim. You know why? I know that there are many, many folks who can relate to this, especially our young girls. So if you have daughters or granddaughters or sisters or friends, I want you to share this with them. Even after I'm through with the conversation. I want for you to share it because they will be able to resonate with it and be able to switch their inner light on so that they will be guided. Now, one of my favorite quotes about inner light I will share with you, and then I will go into Amy's story verbatim as he wrote it. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. Can you understand that? Do you know that each and every one of us has a bright light inside of us? Those of us from third world countries, we can resonate with that, because guess what? For many of us, we did not grow up with electricity. I remember as a child in Jamaica, we had a lamp, a kerosene lamp. Home sweet home is written on the shade. And you used to clean that shade with wet newspaper. And you shine it, and it would illumine throughout the house. You are probably from a different country, but you can relate to a kerosene lamp. You pour the oil in the bottom. You put a wick in that you turn up. And that's what you light. That was the light that we grew up with. And although things are more prevalent in Jamaica now, there are some homes that still have that kerosene lamp, home sweet home, on the shade. And they have that for when there is a blackout. The Amy Die Gore Story. And it starts off in this manner. 1 week before my 29th birthday, the love of my life broke up with me. The pain of it was astounding, heart-stopping. I could not think. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I could not breathe. I expressed and released pain, anger, denial, guilt, sadness, and on until I exhausted myself. The bottom had dropped out of my life, and my sense of self was shattered. Can you relate to that, or have you ever been in that place anytime in your life? Or do you know anybody who can relate to that? As a matter of fact, this can be somebody's story. And this is why I said we need to share this story with our young people, especially our girls. If I could be so wrong about something I had felt such certainty about, I thought, then there was nothing that I could possibly be right about. I was tragically flawed and inevitably doomed. So I did something desperately and extreme. I dropped out of graduate school, gave away all my furniture, threw away most of my belongings, and moved across the country. My intention was escape, to run from the darkness as far as as far and as fast as possible, and to somehow exchange my old broken life for a shiny new one. It didn't work the way I expected it to. Instead of the dynamic new life in a vibrant city I had envisioned, I created instead an evolutionary retreat into solitude and self reflection. Moving far away changed only my environment. It didn't change my internal landscape at all. After the excitement of change, of scene faded, I was left with the one thing I couldn't leave behind: me. Because I didn't know anyone, I spent a lot of time alone. This was back in the days before social media, before the internet was what it is now, and way before smartphones. I put pen to paper and wrote a lot just to purge the thoughts from my head. Many days passed for me in the silence, simply because there was no one to talk to. In my search to understand why something so unbearable, horrible had happened to me, I embraced with passionate zeal every tradition or tool for healing and self knowledge I could find. I meditated, I did yoga, I breathed, I learned about the Saturn return, the chakras, flower essence, fasting mantras, shamanism, dream work, the cling. All of this helped me, but still I was left with the dull, laden weight of my loneliness. I didn't know how, but I was determined to find out. I cling to the intention for dear life, not the belief that it would get better. I wasn't quite there yet, just the possibility that it could. After a few months of existing from moment to moment with my solitude, I began to see myself more clearly, stripped as I was of everything familiar, and alternated from one thing I love, and slowly, surprisingly, and strangely, I began to notice qualities in myself that I didn't know I possessed. Because I did everything by myself, I learned self-reliance. If I got lost while driving, I had to navigate my way out of it. If my car broke down, which it did, there was no friend I could call to help. I learned to take risk because everything I did was fraught with uncertainty. I realized that I could go out on a limb and figure out how to deal with it. But even more than that, I found out that eating one perfect ripe peach on the way back from the farmer's market was an exquisite experience when performed solo in the silence. I could enjoy watching a fantastic movie even if I had no one to talk about it when it was over. I could walk on the beach at sunset, appreciate the beauty without aching and arching for someone to share it with. My internal landscape had become, to my amazement, rich, complex, and interesting. The gradual drawing knowledge that I could not just survive with, but feel whole and happy, even in small bursts, was a regulation to me. Out of the ashes of a devastating personal loss, I found an unlooked for self respect and a renewed excitement about living my life. Gradually, a vision of myself emerged, contrast against the darkness that had enveloped in me. Since then, of course, I had the experiences that have pushed me to the edge, but I've found my way back to the center each time by drawing on the essence of who I am, which is what I'm referring to as the inner light. It doesn't mean I have lost all my flaws or figure it all out. I am always me in those ways too. I can still be critical of myself or self-destructed my life's endless dramas, or get wrapped up in anxiety and worry. But I know that I have a map that can get me on track back to where I want to be instead of being stuck someplace awful. It can take time to find your way back, but you can be sure to find the way by keeping just a few things in mind. So, in other words, what Amy experience has taught her, she was willing to turn that light on during those darkest days. And although she wasn't sure where she was going to go, she decided she was going to give it all of her energy. In other words, she was willing to take a chance on herself. Sometimes in the beginning, when we start off, the illumination or the glare of the light is very dim. So we got to ask ourselves, how willing are we to turn that wick up? Remember, I spoke about the lamp in Jamaica. How willing are you to turn that wick up or on? Even when it's just a glare, are you willing to start there until the illumination gets brighter? Let's continue. If you lose everything, you are still you. Ain't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? It doesn't matter about losing the material things. Once we have life, once we have breath, that's all we need. We are still who we are in all of our true authenticity. Even when we lose everything, we are still who we are. Nothing that happens, no matter how bad, can erase who you are. You are also you no matter what happens. Experiences may change you, but deep inside, there is always that shiny seed of self, the blueprint of who you truly are, guaranteed the possibility of being renewed. Loss allows space for something else to take root in you. You can let it be wisdom, not bitterness. When everything else has been taken away, you have a choice to mend the pieces that are left or to stay in the snowland, the shadowlands. When you move in the direction of wholeness, the power of your intention can ignite your own personal revolution. An open mind and an open heart can be your turning key. It is hard to generate gratitude and serenity when you are suffering. Luckily, just wanting to be that kind of person can be enough. With your intention set in the right direction, peace and contentment will find you. In persevering through my own darkness, Amy says, I found a self-call in my authentic self. My immortal soul, core being, my heart-centered and sanctuary, who can survive whatever life throws at me. My experience has taught me that the human capacity to endure and to do it with grace, courage, and joy does not really depend on anything outside ourselves. Even when life seems impossible, the brilliant light inside yourself is enough to see your way through your own darkest nights. And as I share at the beginning, this story is the story of Amy Die Gore. Amy Die Gore is a writer and consulting astrologer, a genius astrology. Amy talks with people every day about possibilities as well as challenges in the lives they want to create. And academic by training, she writes about cosmos, culture, and creative choices. Now, thank you for your patience with me as I read that verbatim. And, I was blessed and very grateful to have found that story to share. because I know whether you were on the live or if you are listening to the replay, there's some people who meant to hear this. Again, Spirit keeps telling me, young girls, young girls, young girls, young women. So I want to encourage you to share this broadcast with others. And just in case this is you, I want you to keep telling yourselves, everything comes in our life for a season and a time. And we got to learn to set things free. That which is meant to be will come back to us. We got to get into the habit of opening our hands and stop holding things. There are many of us that's holding on to things that no longer serves our highest good. So ask yourselves the question, am I being guided by my inner light? Is my inner light on? Try not to deceive yourselves. Look in the mirror and ask, is my light on? And are you willing to turn the light on? We can only live in darkness for so long. It gets uneasy, it gets uncomfortable. But the thing is that when you give up on yourself and you keep your inner light off, then you become so comfortable in the darkness, in the dungeon, and that's when you become victims. You decide that, oh, nobody cares about me. This is where I need to be. You heard what Amy did. She sold everything. She gave some things away. She said she threw something and went across country. But as my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe, told me many years ago, Daphne, you cannot run from yourself because everywhere you go, Daphne follows you. And I am saying the same thing to you. You can't keep running from yourself. You can't keep pointing the finger, because when we point, what is the big finger saying? What about you? What about you? So stop blaming. Go back to basics. Turn that inner light on. Little by little, by little. Keep turning the wick up, little by little by little. Before long, you're going to have this great impact of the light illumine the world. You're going to begin to vibrate at such a magnitude that you're going to be bringing the world in sync with you. You're going to become a mover and a shaker. You're going to find out that you're in places that folks used to tell you you couldn't be. And you are now looking at yourself and you're thinking, good God, how did I get here? I remember For over X amount of years, I was trying to get here. I couldn't make it because there was so much hindrance. Now look at me, I'm here and I don't know how I made it. Your light was turned on. You turned your inner light on. You decided to put blinders on and you followed the illumination of your inner light. You said, I don't know where we're going, but I'm going to go. I'm going. I'm going. Come on, we in this together. I'm going. I'm going. I'm not looking down. I'm looking up. My eyes is on the prize. That guided light, the illumination. It's like the bullseye on the dartboard. That's what I'm following. That's what I'm following. I ain't looking down. I ain't looking down. I'm not looking back behind me because there's nothing behind me. Everything is before me, and that's what I'm looking. I'm following the light. I'm following the light. You got to begin to follow your light. You got to begin to be willing to follow that inner light. You have turned it off, and some of you, you turn it off, and on top that you turn it off, you cover it up with so many things. Luggage and stuff of luggage, garbage and stuff of garbage, just cover over your light. I'm here to tell you this morning, it's time to again expose your light so you can begin to see where you are going. Follow the illumination of your inner light. Follow your light. It's here to guide us. You got to follow your light. Follow your light. It's always my intention to pass on nuggets and wisdom to you. I hope you was able to get even one nugget out of this conversation today. And in closing, I want to remind you to keep that light on, whether it's spring, whether it's summer, whether it's fall, whether it's winter, whatever season your life is in, I want you to keep your inner light on. Again, I'm Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I'm your soul facilitator. I'm a spiritual healer. I am your why coach and mentor. I am here to help you to keep your light on. Subscribe to all of my platforms. You can find me wherever I am by putting my name in Google. I'm Googleicious. So you can connect with me. And please listen to this as many times and share it. You're very welcome. You are very welcome, my sister queen. Kindly share it with others. I will be on again tonight at 7 p.m. Have a blessed day. Keep your light on, no matter what's going on. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next broadcast. Bye.